Welcome to the HR Show. Tonight we continue with our series on performance management systems, focusing specifically on why they fail. Recapping from last week, a performance management system is the day-to-day process of creating a work environment to which people are enabled to perform to the best of their abilities towards the company's goals. Performance management is a whole work system, and we must remember that it begins when the job is defined right at the beginning and only ends when the employee leaves the organization. If you remember from last week, we defined the performance management system. Today we'll focus on reasons why it fails. For the show, we interviewed a number of people at different levels of the organization, specifically to find out from them why they think performance management systems fail. These are some of the reasons. A number of people confused a performance management system with a performance appraisal. Others expected HR to do it for them. Communication was a strong theme, as well as people not understanding what was expected of them through the process. And finally, the fact that they are overcomplicated. There are two main reasons why performance management systems fail: the system itself and integration into other organizational systems and strategies. We introduce our HR practitioners, Andre and Matsepo, to get comments on why they think performance management systems fail.
The key performance areas and the key performance indicators aren't really aligned to what the company strategy is. Therefore, people are just really doing stuff just to get past.
Sepo?
I think it's going back to the objective, whether the company itself understands the objective and the employees understand the objective. In most cases, I think the objective is not very clear.
What they do is that there's no really clear understanding on how all these factors align to the company and how that really affects them in a personal capacity. They tend to just do things just to get by.
So it's a confusion in terms of what the purpose is, what the goal is and objective is in the beginning. If you can clarify that, and I think everyone could be clear as to what system is there and why it's there, then I think it could be better applied.
Matsepo, what is your view about a performance management system being a performance appraisal?
A performance management system is not a performance appraisal. This is just one of the aspects of.
So in a nutshell, the main reason why performance management systems fail is a misalignment between the company's goals and strategies and the individual's KPIs and objectives.
Oh, absolutely.
Matsepo, do you think that one of the reasons they fail is because a performance management system is overcomplicated?
I think we made them overcomplicated. We made them seem overcomplicated. First, because of our lack of understanding of why they are there in the first place. So yes, I think it's still being misunderstood. I do not think it's very complicated. I think it's the approach and the attitude.
So Andre, leading on from what Matsepo says, do you feel that also that there's a lot of work involved for line managers?
Many managers don't have the time to document things. It's almost like a tick box. They tick yes, yes, yes. Are you happy? No. But there's not really any answers they can give their management an indication of why things are not really working and then give them opportunity to really change the system.
Would you agree with this, Matsepo?
Exactly. I think most managers, first of all, because they do not understand, again, the purpose, feel that it's just something they could do without. It's just an additional unnecessary workload for them, because first of all, if you implement it, you have a number of employees that each one of them, you would have to apply the system to.
And feedback being a reason why performance management systems fail?
Performance management fails if there's not really a true reflection on a 360 format from clients, suppliers, internal customers about what is really working and what's not working in the organization. And the feedback must also be given in a constructive, positive manner, which you'll find in most companies that it's almost like if you don't do your job, then you are going to be reprimanded.
So in summary, Andre, the reason why performance management systems fail with regards to feedback is because feedback is not positive, transparent, and is subjective. Could you just elaborate on the negative aspects of feedback?
Performance management is not just about reprimanding people not doing their tasks. Many companies don't realize that it's supposed to really be a tool that they can do succession planning, where it is you are in a position now, a salesperson. How can I develop you to really become a sales manager, eventually a sales director, or even a CEO of an organization? There has to be a clear link between getting people into organization by means of recruitment and really sustaining them and helping them grow within the organization, but also understanding what their key goals in their own personal capacity is. And very often you'll find that the rewards aren't really linked to true performance. You'll have a person in the department that just really is the blue-eyed boy in the organization, and because of purely by standing more than anything, they get to get promoted and they get to be rewarded. They get the office space, they get to have the new car or the increase because you are the nicer guy. So there's no real link between real performance and what I'm really expecting you to do. They can't.
So you're suggesting a further disconnect between the rewards given and the outputs that are expected.
Really link the reward to what the task at hand is, or what the outputs at hand is.
Matsepo, do you think another reason why performance management systems fail is that line managers are relying on HR to actually action them?
Anything with performance, I think line managers usually look up to HR, because at this stage, I think, even from HR's point of view, usually we should sort of facilitate it, sort of give guidelines to managers. The person who's responsible for that employee on a day-to-day basis is the correct person to be able to tell the employee whether they're performing according to expectation or not.
And finally, Andre, do you think that the performance management system fails because we're not getting feedback from people even leaving our organization?
A very good way of doing that is exit interviews, but unfortunately in many companies there aren't things like exit interviews that are really qualitative.
So in summary, performance management systems fail first and foremost because the KPIs of the individual are not aligned to the goals and strategies of the company. They are overcomplicated systems, or perceived to be overcomplicated systems, which create far too much paperwork in the eyes of line managers. Some people view performance management as having been done if a form is filled in and all the tick boxes are checked. They are viewed as a system of punishment and not a system of growth. There is an expectation by line managers that HR should actually be performing the performance management of employees. Rewards are not linked to outputs. And finally, we are not getting or giving the correct feedback, and this includes exit interviews.
Now it makes sense why performance management systems fail.